Hi, so this is session 2 of the Downward Dog series, and you're going to need a 1 kilo-ish weight. If you've got any shoulder problems, you might want to go half, or a can of beans or something from the kitchen cupboards. We're still working with the upper body to try and stretch out some of this long line that you need in order to be able to reach those arms through and get that nice length through your spine. So again, we can keep the knees bent at the moment and just really working on the length through the arms, through the lats, into that nice long line. So the other thing that we need is actually, if you're tight through your pecs at the front here, then that's really hard to get that length through the front of the shoulder. So we're gonna also work at just opening out through here as well. So the difficulty with just working on flexibility is that you just holding long stretches don't really work as effectively as being quite dynamic. So hopefully we're going to do some nice dynamic exercises here. If you can sit on your feet, then do. We're just going to start in a nice comfortable position. If you want to be cross-legged, then if you prefer that, then do that. If it's hard for you to be in this position, you can come into high kneeling, just put a cushion under your knees, whatever works for you. So we're going to start with a little bit of a warm up through these shoulders. So just pop your hands on your shoulders and just circle the elbows here, keeping the shoulder blades just sliding down the chest wall. And then we're going to circle the other way. Nice. And I'm just balancing my head on my shoulders. And last one there, and then bring those arms down by the side of you. Just roll the shoulders back, roll the shoulders forward to finish there. Then just reach those arms out in front of you, and I want you to stretch those fingers. So we're really gonna just stretch and wriggle the fingers. We always sometimes forget about all the muscles in our intrinsics in our hands and into those fingers. And then here, just create a fist and just really tightly draw into that and hold. And just reach those hands away, and you're going to allow your chin to just roll down and reach onto your chest, and just soften through the upper body and keep reaching those fists forward. Turn the thumbs down and reach away, and you should feel a slightly deeper stretch through the shoulder blades, through your back. And then turn them up as you grow tall, and we're going to open those fingers and just reach up in a nice wide V, and then just bend the wrists back, and you'll feel a stretch all the way through. Imagine that you're just looking up at the sunshine, nice warm face, and you should feel that extension into the spine. And then one more here, we're going to create those fists, turn the palms to face down, reach forward, soften at the breastbone and reach. And then turn the thumbs down so the back of the hands are facing each other, and you press those hands towards me, and you'll get a deeper stretch through your back. Last one here, release, open and stretch the fingertips, open up into a nice wide V, and bend those wrists back. Warm sun on the face, a little bit of yoga there, thinking about that sun, that more meditative feeling, and just that reach and length through the fingertips. Breath into the body, and then release and come down. Cool. So now place those hands back on the shoulders and circle, and hopefully that feels a little bit freer, and circle the other way. Cool. So we're going to be a little bit more dynamic with that now. So I want you to just bring one hand forward into that punch and really feel that you're reaching the shoulder blade off the chest wall, and the thumb is facing down, palm to the outside. Then as you take the arm back behind you, start to spiral so the palm is facing up. We're going to stay in this fist. So you're getting a nice open, and then almost imagine front crawl. So you bring the elbow through, elbow high, and you reach out, turning the thumb down and press. Draw the hand down, open the palm up to the ceiling, and then high elbow and punch through, thumb down. So here, open and just let your back come with you. So you open that torch on your breastbone to the side of the room and reach down, open the palm, then turn the palm to face outside of the room, up and reach. Last one, up. High elbow, reach out in front of you and down. And just roll that shoulder back and just notice how that shoulder's feeling. Perhaps close your eyes and just feel quite centered. Maybe notice more length through that side of the body and just compare how one side feels to the other. So same thing here, we punch forward. As we do so, we spiral inwards, thumb faces down, and we stretch the shoulder blade off the chest wall. We come down and then we turn the palm up, high elbow, and punch forward again. Reach down, just following that movement with your eyes, letting the upper body rotate round and then rotate forward. Look back, high elbow, reach and punch. Keep that palm back and then up to the ceiling, high elbow, punch and down. Last two, punch and down. Last one, reach and down and circle the shoulders and just notice how the body feels now. Perhaps a little bit looser through the neck as well. Okay, so from here, we're then going to just bring those hands together in a prayer position and let the elbows be as nice and high, as ideally in line with your wrists in a nice straight horizontal line. But it's going to depend on your range at your wrists. So again, you need that flexibility at the wrist joints for the downward dog. So just push through one whole palm to just get a little bend at the wrist. Try not to creep the heels of the hands away from each other as you bend side to side. Through the wrists, elbows stay high. Nice, then just interlock those fingers. And then here, you're just gonna circle through the wrists and then circle the other way. Nice, and then just shake out through those fingertips and down. Nice, okay, so we're going to come into a downward dog here before we then carry on with some of those stretches and just feel how it feels. So stack those hands under your shoulders, okay, and find the bridges of your hands. And then stack your knees under your hips and tuck your toes under if you can. If you can't, you can just hover and then step through one foot at a time, okay? So breath in here, slide those shoulders away from your ears, long neck, hover those knees, and now we lift our tailbone and you're trying to press your weight back. Again, keep the knees soft for now and the heels lifted. We're just working that upper body. Press away through the heels of your hands and sink through the breastbone. Get that nice long line and find that length through the spine that we're working on in session 1. And the length through the shoulders. Nice. And then from here we fold back down and just drop into a nice shell stretch. And after working through those shoulders here, just walk those fingertips forward and you'll start to feel a stretch through the seams of the body. Let that head hang heavy. Then here, just walk your right hand out on the diagonal line. Place the left palm on top. And here I'm just swinging my hips out to the left, dropping my head heavy. And now I can feel a deep stretch through the left seam of my body. And now I want you to imagine just breathing into that left seam, using the breath to deepen the stretch through that seam, through the lats, through the triceps, teres major, under the shoulder blade. Nice, and back to center. Then from here we walk the left hand out to the left side, just out to maybe 10 o'clock, right palm on top, and then we swing the hips out to the right. And we're opposing those fingertips away from that right sit bone or pelvis to get a nice deep stretch through the right seam of the body. Let the head hang, and now just breathe into the right seam, deepening the stretch through there. Nice. And then scoop back to center. So from here, we're going to come onto our side. We're going to come down onto our elbow. So we're going to now work a little bit of an isometric contraction here. So that means just holding through this side of the body to really work those muscles before we then stretch them out. So come down onto the elbow. Bring the feet together and the knees stacked on top of one another. And I want the feet out behind you, almost a nice straight line through the front of the body, so no fold at the hips. But you'll find if your legs are completely straight, you'll get a little bit of pressure on your lower back. So then just soften those knees forward and have your weight nearby. If your elbow feels uncomfortable, please put a cushion or a towel underneath it for a bit of support. We want to get those headlights on your hip bones facing forward, so we just drop the tailbone and push the hips forward. And then here, we're not trying to collapse through the shoulder, but push the floor away to engage through this bottom rib cage. So from here, if this is too difficult for you, you can come with the foot there to give you a bit more support. Okay, otherwise we're going to stick with this position and we're just going to come up and hold to begin with. Okay, really feel you lift and banana, and just take the arm over to really help you banana and feel that rib cage come into your waist and back to center, and just hold here. Let the head and neck find that nice alignment. Squeeze your knees together. That's going to connect through your inner thigh up into your abdominals, and keep holding here. So yeah, horrible isometric contraction, okay? These are not nice. We'll try and forget about them by just moving the arm. Just for 3 here. And last one. And then you're gonna reach for your weight. Take that arm up and just see if you can slide the arm bone into your shoulder socket. It's horrible here to hold. Cool. And now you're going to take nice and slow, super slow. And I want you to be aware of this hand. So I want the palm facing forward if you can. So if you're a bit tight in the shoulder, you're going to find that you're going to be more thumb down. Okay, so if anything, you want to be a little bit palm turned up away from you, okay? Because that's going to give you a deeper stretch. Stay lifted, super slow. We're going to just take this arm overhead, keeping that palm ideally facing forward. Cool, and you're going to think about that banana through the underside of the body, and then hold here. So you've got the weight in that top arm and the lift through the underside of the body for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to bring this arm back to center. Nice and slow. Keep that shoulder soft away from your ear, and then super slow down. Then lower the hip. Ooh, just fold those knees and come over. And this time just into a nice deep stretch. So now we're opening up through that side of the body. Bottom hand, reach it forward, and you're gonna open up into a little bit of rotation. So this top elbow, just open it up to the ceiling and let your breastbone reach. Nice, release one more. And release, come back to center. This time take your weight in the hand that's going overhead. So we reach up to the ceiling. Again, this time palm facing to the wall away from you, okay? Because that's gonna help you open up. If the thumb's down, it's gonna release off there. So we side bend over. Keep anchored through these sit bones. And then here, we just side bend over. And you're gonna hold. Drop that ear to your shoulder. And it feels like the rib cage has shifted that way, so that you get this real nice, again, banana through the spine and opening through the opposite side of the body. Palm facing forward. Now here, you're going to keep the elbow high and just tap your forehead. And now reach the arm up to the ceiling. So my elbow isn't moving. Notice that it's just my forearm tapping my head and then extending up to the ceiling. Reach. Reach. Stay in that nice side bend as long as it's comfortable for you to do so. Last 2. Get that last little bit of extension, okay? Everyone tends to cheat and just be off it. Go on, reach the fingertips. Lengthen without the shoulder coming away from your ear. Keep it soft. Last one. And then this time with a nice long arm, Just see if you can open up a bit deeper. Anchor the sit bone and then side bend. Hold where is comfortable for you. Don't go into any discomfort or compression. There should still feel length through the body and through the spine. And then super slow, reach up and bring that arm down. Roll the shoulders back and just notice how the body feels now. Hopefully a little bit longer through the spine. Before we do the other side, let's come back into a downward dog. I'm going to face the other way. So tuck the toes under, knees stacked under your hips, hands just a little bit wider than your shoulders. Glide the shoulder blades on the chest wall, long neck. We hover, and now lift the tailbone. You're going to keep the knees soft and just press back, taking your weight back and lifting that tailbone and just sink here. And just notice maybe how one arm feels compared with the other. Do you feel you've got more length through the side that you've just been working? I hope so. Feels like you can almost go further than your body's allowing, because the other side perhaps still feels a little bit tighter. If you feel now just exploring sending the thighs back, you'll start to deepen the stretch into those hamstrings. So I have got the range to be able to extend and then sink my heels, but that's the last stage there. Pressing back through my hands, sinking through my breastbone, lifting my tailbone. And then we fold back down. Drop back into that shell. And again, just reach those fingertips forward. And perhaps notice, is one fingertip longer than the other? Certainly the side I've been working is better. And then we'll have another feel of this. So take the right hand out to the right side, place your left palm on top and swing the hips out to the left. And just stretch into that left seam of the body, posing those fingertips away from that hip, let the head hang. Notice if that feels any different. Come back to center and left hand comes out on the diagonal line, right palm on top. Oh, and I haven't worked this side yet, so this feels a lot tighter for me. And then scoot back to center. So we're going to even that up now. So come down onto that elbow. If you need the cushion, do. We're going to take the feet out behind us, nice straight line through the body, and have your weight near you. We start without the weight. Push away from the floor, headlights on your hip bones facing forward. Squeeze the knees together and come up and hold. Okay, really feel this lift as we banana over, working those muscles on the underside of the body, then back to center, hold. I'm just going to adjust my elbow there. Good, hold this, nice long neck. Give yourself a gentle double chin to support the neck. Keep lifted. And then we take the arm over, 2, 3, stay lifted. Then we're going to take this weight and hold it up to the ceiling. Just slide the shoulder blade onto that chest wall, stay lifted. Palm is facing forward towards me at the camera. And now you're going to super slow start to take the arm overhead, keeping as best you can rather than the shoulder coming up to your ear. Glide it down your back. And hold wherever you feel comfortable to hold. Shouldn't be a strain on the shoulder. For 5, 4, keep lifted, 3, 2, 1. Super slow. Start to bring that arm back up to center and then down towards your waist. Palm still facing forward, so little finger or the border of the little finger is going to find the hip. And then we lower down. Just fold the feet out behind you. Reach the arm up, and here we anchor the sit bone and side bend over. Open up, and you're still creating length. Shoulders and hips parallel to the camera in front of you. Then we reach the bottom arm forward and just think about opening the elbow and release. Reach the arm forward, open the top elbow. And release, a little bit more length. Bring the arm down. And then this time we pop the weight in that arm, reach up to the ceiling. Anchor those sit bones and we side bend over. Finding length through the body, so we're not compressing through the side. This side, we're reaching up and over. So really find space between each vertebra. Find this length. And now place your hand on your head. And again, palm still facing towards me. And reach. Good. Soften the shoulder down your back as you lengthen the fingertips. And find that last little bit of extension through the elbow so that you can feel your triceps working. 4 more. 3, 2, last one we hold. Keep the length, find the length through the body and space between your spine as you take the arm overhead. Soft shoulders, melt them away and hold this opening. Feeling a stretch from pelvis to rib cage, through under the shoulder. Hold there. And then reach that arm back up to the ceiling and bring the arm down. Roll the shoulders back and just reach over one last time. Notice how that feels. And back to center. Okay, come back onto all fours. Before we come into our downward dog, we're just going to come onto our elbows and we're going to bring the hands out a little bit wider. So just wider than your mat. My hips are still stacked over my knees. And then here we're going to just sink through the breastbone, not lifting your head, just keep your head in line with your spine and just sink through the breastbone. So my elbows are also in line with my shoulders and then I'm just dropping through my breastbone, long neck. So you'll feel that in that posterior capsule, so just hold wherever's comfortable for you. If it feels too much, you can bring them in a little bit, okay, and drop there. Just where you can tolerate, and you'll feel a stretch around the base of the capsule of the shoulder. Sinking the breastbone, not bringing my bottom back. I'm keeping my hips stacked over my knees and then sinking so that almost a weight on my breastbone is pulling me down to the floor. Last little stretch there. And back up. Nice, place the hands just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart and turn the fingertips out. Remember, we don't want the palms facing in. Tuck the toes under if you can. If not, you can just step through to come up if you've got any range issues at your toes. Glide your shoulder blades down the chest wall. Breath in. Exhale, we hover. Inhale and hold. And then this time we lift the tailbone. You push back through the heels of your hands and sink through the breastbone, getting that nice length through the spine. Keep the knees soft, heels lifted to offload that back line. And now start to explore, sending the thighs out behind you. Think thighs pressing back to the wall away. And then last but not least, can you sink your heels? That's that last little bit into a nice V shape. And just notice how that feels for you now. Hopefully you feel you've got the range through the shoulders. To deepen now the stretch through the back line, we're going to finish by just walking those hands in towards you. Keeping that tailbone lifted, and I've still got a softness at my knees. And here you still keep the soft knees, but lift the tailbone so you're getting a stretch through those hamstrings. Spread the toes. Breath in, exhale, roll your tailbone now down towards your heels, sinking your tummy inwards and curling through the low back, mid back, upper back. Peeling that chin away from the chest, reach those arms out, breath in. Just notice how the body feels. And exhale. Roll the shoulders back to finish.